it drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump. It drove, because think about it, it's me. Imagine me not being able to say what I wanted. What was the point of being famous? What was the point of having, millions of people love your music? What was the point of having a voice if you can't even use your own voice and connect it to your own opinions?
Yes.
That's where the disconnect happened. That's where the, quote, I think wrongly diagnosed, that's where the bipolarity is. Because you got something you're thinking, but you're told you're not allowed to say it in public. Well, I never actually told people that I liked Trump when he was running because I was bullied by Hollywood. Because I stayed in Hollywood and people were like, think about your kids, and I'm trying to hold on to the marriage, so I'm just biting my tongue. Like, there's so many fathers and mothers that go to work every day and they're in a situation where they're biting their tongue because they think it will be better for their children.
That's right.
So even me in my position, I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass. They don't teach it at Sierra Canyon. And what they do is take all of the celebrities, the actors, the basketball players, and they throw them in this one school and they indoctrinate the kids. So my son's psalm is brilliant. So right now, they're looking to figure out how to indoctrinate him to make him be another part of the system. I have a choir at my school. So right now, we've come to a compromise, but I'm not finished because I don't compromise. But we come to a compromise when my kids go to my school after school and they learn choir. I sat there with my son and he came and he said, why do I need to sing? I don't even go to your school. So imagine a 16-year-old version of that guy, the 26-year-old version of that guy, where the father doesn't have say-so of what the kids are watching, what the kids are wearing, what the kids are eating, who the kids are hanging out with. Ray Kurzweil said, we have the information needed to have a human utopia, but we're led by the least noble, most greedy people. There's a solution that can bring happiness to so many more people. I even had this idea about, the connection of big pharma to farms by having localized farms. With more localized farms, you can use less pesticides. If you have less pesticides, then you have less diseases. And have big pharma invest in the local farms, and they'll actually make more money. I'm not one of the people that go up and say, hey, I want to stop anybody from making money. The people that make money and the powers that be, I am your true Nikola Tesla. And I'm not even a scientist.
What do you think of Elon Musk? Do you know him?
Very well.
What's your take on him?
You said that because I said Tesla?
I did, yeah. It's just the first thing that popped.
And that everyone's always like, oh, Elon's got these answers. I think he's a great team player. Like I said about Ray Kurzweil and Utopia. In Rome, they would bring all the most brilliant people and have them sit down to the point where their seats had a toilet in them. Like, people would not even get up to use the bathroom. And they would ideate about what society needed, and they'd invent new things, and they'd put it all up on the wall. And Donda, before it was a school, is a design firm. And what I would do is pull together all my favorite thinkers, and we'd invent. That's why I was happy that you saw two of the inventions right there. Because now it's like, if I had said that before you drank the coffee, and some might joke and say you're drinking the Kool-Aid, but before you drank the coffee and before you saw the 3D printed boot, zero waste 3D printed boot. If I said Nikola Tesla, you'd probably you could have shrugged that off. I think it's insane for an administration to not use a talent like Elon Musk more. Like, if I was in a, or once I am, I will eventually be president before, in my lifetime. But if I was in office right now, I would be calling Elon every day. I'd have him sleeping in the White House. I'd say, how do we use our platform as the most influential, that's a Freudian slip, the most influential country in the world to show the rest of the world how to live a simplified life. But our country is under attack, and media and industries outside of our country are doing anything to keep it as it was. And everyone's just afraid. God is love. And I understand I come off scary sometimes because I'm like, I'm gonna protect my kids. I'm gonna protect my reputation. I'm gonna protect my brand. And there's times when you have to pull the guns out. You have to pull the swords out. You have to have righteous indignation as a Christian. For everyone that ever said, I can't get mad because I'm a Christian. As a Christian, it's like, yeah.
I don't understand how you can work and be so successful and influential in the music business and the fashion industry, the two most liberal businesses probably in the world, as a professing Christian with a pro-life badge on. How does that work?
I always think, whenever God allows a brilliant idea to channel through me and allows me to somehow, take credit for it, I always snicker at the fact that with liberals, their main tool is, that they use are artists and influencers, right? But then God has the #1 artist and the #1 influencer as a conservative. So I always chuckle at that. Every time I come up with some brilliant, I was like, could you imagine if, they could have just indoctrinated Ye? The world could have just totally been ran into the hole. And there's battles that the devil had won, but the devil's a defeated foe. Like, for me to have gone from Jesus walks to you're such a hoe, I love it, that's that deviation from the path. So, I love that question because I really, every time, it just tickles me, like that the very thing that liberals use the most of, they don't have the best person at it.
Do you talk to other people in your business, who are successful in the music industry, the fashion business, who secretly agree with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of fashion people. Tommy Hilfiger loved Trump. Let me see I got to think of all the other Trump. I'm not even going to use the term Trump supporter,
right? Because
why don't people say Hillary supporter or Biden supporter? This is just, yeah, there's a lot of people. You know what? People in my business who love Trump, businessmen, people who love money.
Yeah.
People who love money, people who actually like being successful and, and not ran into the ground. Like, those are some of the people.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson Tonight.